Are you learning English, but starting to question, is it really worth it? Well, today I am going to show you guys some of the different ways that learning English might completely change your life. My name is Sam and welcome back to English Sponge. As always, if you enjoy English comprehensible input, check out the English Sponge website. But that's enough promo. It's time to tell you just how learning English could completely change your life. So, when I think about the first part of learning a language, where you first start picking up these new words, these new phrases, you finally start understanding some basic things. The truth is, at first, this will not change your life massively, but it will change your life in some small ways. Maybe you are on the train and you overhear a conversation from some tourists. Maybe you realize that you're starting to understand more than you did before. Maybe you're walking around in your city and a tourist comes up to you asking for help. Before, if they spoke to you in English, you would have no idea what to say. But now, you started to pick up some of the most basic words, the most important phrases, and therefore, you feel more confident to help them. Maybe when you're watching your favorite TV show in English, you go, I keep seeing that word. Now I know what it means. Maybe when you're listening to some of your favorite English speaking songs, you realize you're starting to understand some of the lyrics that you didn't understand before. Well, these changes are not massive, but what they do is they give you so much confidence. These changes give you so much confidence, they motivate you, and you start to think, maybe, just maybe, learning English and getting to a high level could have a massive impact on my life and on who I am. So, that's the start, but the further you get into the language learning journey, the bigger the effect on your life becomes. So, another way learning English will change your life is it will help you develop new hobbies and new interests. The truth is, learning English and being able to engage with content in English makes you form a much deeper connection with it. Movies that are dubbed are good, but they're not as good as the movies in the original language. By learning English, at least up to a high B1, low B2 level, it allows you to start really developing new interests, reading new books, watching TV shows, movies. For me in Spanish, it was all about listening to Spanish music. That's what really developed my interests and started to change my hobbies. You may even start going to things like language exchange events, meeting new people, and finding new hobbies, finding new things to do, all because of your language. Some of these places that you've seen in TV shows, movies, New York City, Los Angeles, London, they start to feel a little bit closer, a little bit more real, more realistic even, once you reach a good level of English. They don't feel so foreign, so scary. By learning English to a good level, you will change your life because you will begin to engage much, much more deeply with English culture. And, as I'm sure you guys know, the English speaking world is massive. The content that's out there is truly, truly unending. So, that is another way that learning English could change your life. Keep watching until the end because these get bigger and better as we go on. So, next we have the thing that most people talk about when they talk about English changing your life. And this is, English will give you a whole world of new opportunities. The amount of new opportunities that you will receive or that you will encounter by speaking and learning English is truly massive. Now, I am an English teacher, and most of my students learn English for work purposes. They learn English so they can move abroad, they can get new jobs, they can get better salaries. The whole idea for many of them is to learn English to give them new work opportunities. And I think that may be the biggest advantage for you guys watching as well. Learning new English may get you a promotion. It may get you a new job offer. You may even be able to move abroad. Lots of my students have moved abroad simply because they have B2 or higher English. That was one of the main reasons why they got new jobs. But everybody knows about the work opportunities. But I think the travel opportunities are where this language really shines. English is the international form of communication. No matter where you go in the world, if you're speaking to somebody and you don't speak their language, English is usually a pretty safe bet. It would be quite difficult to travel to countries where no English is spoken. At least having a couple of words, being able to survive in a conversation, brings you so many more opportunities. You no longer need to rely on your friends when you travel. You can start traveling alone because you speak English. I can use a personal example for this one as well. Speaking Spanish has allowed me to move abroad. I have been very fortunate, and I have now lived in 2 different Spanish-speaking countries. I lived in Argentina, and now I'm living in Chile. I would not have been able to move to these countries alone, and I would not have been successful moving to these countries if I didn't have a very high level of Spanish. I spent 4 years, I think I spent 4 years practicing my Spanish, getting it up to a really good level before I took the jump, before I decided to move to a Spanish-speaking country. Trust me, the amount of opportunities that you will receive in your life, that you will encounter in your life because you have a high level of English are truly massive. And these opportunities stack on top of each other. One opportunity leads to another. That opportunity leads to another. Truly, English will take you to many, many places. It will give you so many new opportunities. But even though this is maybe the most practical thing people talk about, and the thing most people think about when they think about why they will learn English and how English could change their life, everybody thinks about opportunities. They think about work, they think about travel, but up next, I'm going to tell you about 2 things that, in my opinion, are much, much bigger and will change your life in a much crazier way. Let's go. So, the next way that English might change your life is it might allow you to form some really deep and some really meaningful connections. When I think about my journey in Spanish, I don't think about the language. I don't think about, how useful it's been. I don't think about how it's helped me travel. I think about the people. I think about the connections. And at the end of the day, that is why we learn languages. We learn languages simply to connect. Now, if you're learning English, you have the advantage of learning the world's most popular second language. I told you before about all of the opportunities in terms of work, in terms of school, in terms of living places, traveling, all of that. But now, I want you to think about people. I want you to think about the people you know who speak your language as a second language. You love them, right? They're truly special. They have done something difficult, and that has allowed them to connect directly with you, straight to your heart. I'm not saying if you learn English, you're immediately going to make lots and lots of English friends. I'm not saying that you're going to 100% definitely fall in love with an English person and get married and have kids and live happily ever after. I'm not saying those things will happen, but they can, they might, and they probably will. You can make really, really great friends just by speaking their language. I have been fortunate enough to make lots and lots of incredible friends. Friends who I have never spoken a word in English to. And that could be your future as well. You might make friends who do not speak a word of your native language. And they might be some of the best, some of the most meaningful connections you ever have. I want to tell you a very quick story about a friend of mine called Franco. Now, I met Franco in Buenos Aires because we both support the same football team. Franco doesn't speak any English, but I now consider Franco one of my closest friends. I consider him to be one of the best people I have ever met. In fact, Franco and I have such a good relationship that when I went back to Buenos Aires a few months ago to visit, I stayed in his house. I shared a bed with him for 4 days. That's how welcoming he was to me. You know, it's funny because historically, the English and Argentines have a bit of a problem with each other. But because I spoke his language, because we connected through shared interests given to me by my second language, we were able to form an incredible friendship. And to this day, I still consider him a great friend. And let's talk about relationships. Now, lots of people tell me that the English accent is one of the most beautiful in the world, that it's exceptionally easy to fall in love with a person who speaks English. Well, you guys never know what the future might hold for you. If you learn English, you might meet a special person. You might meet a person who really lights up your life. And they might not speak your language. So, if you speak theirs, if you speak English, you may be able to build an incredible, special life together. Back home in England, I know lots of people who are dating, married to foreigners. People who are dating people not from England. And the only reason that they were able to build such successful relationships is because they could communicate. It's because they could communicate in English. With this one, I'm not saying these things will happen. I'm not saying it's definite, 100% guaranteed. But I'm saying it gives you the option. It gives you the chance. And if you're anything like me, you love to connect with people. You love to meet people. And language is the best way that you can do that. And the final way that learning English might change your life is you might develop an entirely different personality. Now wait, I know what you're thinking, Sam, that sounds absolutely crazy. Let's think about it for a second. Through learning English, you develop new hobbies. You then get new opportunities. Maybe you work in a new place. You then start developing new connections, friendships, relationships. Would it be too much to say you could develop a new personality? Now, this is something that I have heard many times, and at first I wasn't sure if I believed it. When I had like B1, B2 Spanish, I really didn't know if I believed it. The truth is, when you have a lower level in a language, you are simply thinking. You're thinking all the time, you're stressed, you're worrying. All you're really doing is trying to get through the next sentence. But once you get to these higher levels, C1 and above, and the language starts to become natural, automatic, you definitely can see some differences in your personality. In my second language, I would say I'm far more direct. I would say I think a lot less about things. I would say I'm maybe a little bit more logical, less passionate. But these aren't bad things. These are just how I am in my second language. Now, of course, learning English, you're not guaranteed to become a completely different person, but you will definitely notice that parts of you are changing. Learning English through comprehensible input requires discipline. So if you're a person who has struggled with discipline throughout your life, learning English might help you fix that. If you're a person who gets distracted really easily, sitting down 30 minutes, 40 minutes at a time, listening to a podcast, watching videos, practicing your English could help you get better at that. The beautiful thing about learning English is that it is not just improving the skill of a language. It's improving you as a person. You become a better, a more well-rounded, a more emotional, a more understanding person. And at the end of the day, all we should be doing in life is trying to improve. So, learning English might just help you develop a new personality. So, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. As always, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it was a little bit of fun for you. As you can probably guess, it was a lot of fun to make. Today, the intention of today's video was hopefully to try and give you guys some motivation, to try and show you guys just how much your life could change if you learn English. So, if you're feeling inspired, if you're feeling motivated, now might be the perfect time to check out the English Sponge website for the first time. You can track your hours, you can sort by guide, by accent, by level. There is a huge amount of customization that you can do on there. And of course, there's over 600 comprehensible input videos with almost 200 of them, or maybe 200 of them now, featuring yours truly. Yeah, I've made over 200 videos. How crazy. If you're not ready to leave YouTube just yet, what are you doing? It's okay. I'm messing with you. I get it. You can check out this B1 playlist up here that we think will be an excellent level for you. So that's it from me. I will see you in the next video.